Good morning, everyone. How are you today? So glad to be here with you all. Slight delay because I am still recuperating. It has been a rough couple of weeks. And anyone who lives in Austin knows that it's ragweed season. So you know what that means, right? Laid out. Okay, but I am here. I have a voice. I am going to use it today. If I start going a little hoarse, just bear with me. We'll be all right. If you're joining for the very first time, my name is Patricia Hayes. Welcome. I am an executive advisor, empowerment coach, and authentic networking strategist. And what that means is I love helping people to get to the next level in their careers and their businesses by really focusing on the strengthening those executive presence skills, such as being a great advocate and up leveling how you're appearing in an empowered way as you engage with others. And absolutely most significantly, one of the things I do is make sure that people are leveraging their professional relationships in a way that is not only strategic but authentic in order to help them achieve their goals. All right. So, all that means is I am here to help people get to the next level, the best in the best way for them, and very purposefully and authentically. And we have started a new series here for the fall in September where we were talking about developing an empowered you. And so go back and catch those on Mondays and a couple of Wednesdays. And I'm looking forward to today's conversation because a few of my friends and clients will be like, oh no, she's talking about me. And I'm like, no, I'm talking about the collective you because this is something we talk about all the time. Now, here's the thing. Sorry, guys, camera keeps shifting. If you are here, please let me know because I can't always see the comments. So feel free to comment. If I miss it, I will come back and check in on you, but I am not ignoring you. Okay. And so today's topic specifically is we are going to be talking about how you need to stop playing hide and seek with your skills. And oh my gosh, y'all, this is one of those things that I've heard myself, right? So I'm not like just putting it out there for other people, but I get a lot of when I'm working with clients or folks who are coming to me to ask for some specific help. And we'll dive a little deeper into that. But here's the thing. If you've ever been told, I didn't know you did X, this is for you. Okay. Because when people are like, oh, I didn't know, that's getting a little bit into some visibility things. Of course, check out Wednesday's conversation because Wednesday we're going to be talking about networking and your number one fan. But we're going to start here today because that means there's something lacking, right? If there are people that you know who, everyone's not going to know every single little thing about you. However, on things that are very important to you, very foundational as far as your skill set or your background. And if there are folks who are like, I didn't know, then it's like, okay, wait, let me rewind, go back and figure out what I am or am not doing. And what you really want to do is when you do the work, you will be able to empower your career and or your business by bringing those skills out of hiding, okay? By bringing that knowledge forward. And so it's really important to stay on top of it. Now, here's the thing. One of the things that is particularly difficult for women is that we do not like to, quote, brag on ourselves, right? Or we get chastised for it or look down on it. Those days are over, people. First of all, it's not bragging if you're telling the truth. Hello. If you're telling the truth, it is not bragging. It is all in the presentation and it is all in the sharing and how it's done. But if it's the truth, it's not bragging. It's not about bragging. It's about sharing and informing people so that you can help others accomplish whatever it is they're trying to accomplish, and you can accomplish your own goals, right? So there's this kind of there's a cycle that's going, and there's a point to it. But you can't help somebody if they don't know what you do, or if they don't know what your background is to validate their need for, oh my gosh, this person really can help me get this project done. This person really can help me, if I buy this product or this service, because they've shared in me the background that helped them get to where they are. Okay, that's what we're talking about. So here's the first thing. The very first thing. I do this with virtually all of my clients at some point in time. Very rarely do people come to me having done this. And what is that? Is doing the deep dive on your experience. And what it normally shows up as someone coming to me asking me for help with a resume. FYI, that is not something I do on my own. Like, I have some great people to refer you to if that's what all you want to do. But as a part of deconstructing so that we can build you back up, that is something I will do, right? As part of our coaching, and saying, okay, what is everything that we have to work with? And what happens is rarely does anyone give me a resume or a Vita or whatever that tells me the full picture of who they are and where they've been with their professional experience. Rarely. And so I will go as I'm, if they're saying, hey, I want help trying to, get into this space, I'm trying to shift, and I'm looking at stuff, and something tells me most of the time that there's a gap. Like, there's a gap. And I'm like, something's missing. Why do I feel like something's missing? So I go back and I ask, hey, is this your full resume? I do. Is this your full resume? They're like, well, no, because all that other stuff's not relevant. Okay, I don't need you to determine what's relevant right now. I need you to give me your full resume. I have had people give me what they consider their, quote, full resume, and it is still not complete. So then I have to have them go back and say, I need for you to delineate everything you've ever done. And they were like, but some of that was in college. I don't care. Because when we are trying to build you up, to present you in the best light, to help you to get to the next level of what it is you're trying to achieve in your goals and your dreams, I need to know everything. Don't, say, oh, this great thing here because someone told you, oh, that's the best thing about you, whatever. And I know y'all know how I like to go against conventional wisdom on all of this stuff, because all of the standard language out there is keep your resume to 2 pages. And if you're, a brand new grad, your resume shouldn't be more than 1 page, whatever. I know some brand new grads that have more experience and more valid experiences than some people who've been working a little bit, right? So it's not about, how many pages. Let's talk about what the experiences are and how we make sure we reflect what needs to be reflected in that document. Okay. But the first thing that has to be done is we need to know the complete picture. And I have had clients that I've worked with, I've had to ask them 2 or 3 times because I'm like, this is not everything. And when I do that and go back, there's all kinds of stuff I find out about them. I'm like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that you did X. I'm like, why don't you talk about that? Well, because I'm not doing that right now. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. We're going to talk about ghosting yourself in a second. However, do not, like, you are stepping on your own toes. You are, whatever analogy you want to use, but you are hindering yourself when you fail to put your full self out on the table. Okay. So the first step is you have to do the deep dive on your experience. And guess what? No one can do that for you. I can help you pull that forward. But because I don't know everything you've ever done, you have to contribute to that process. And that is something that I inform people to do. Now, I'm not saying that that's what you put on your quote new resume that goes out to the whole world whenever you're looking to transition, whenever you're creating a Vita, or whether you're creating an experience bio as a business owner. What I am saying is you always, always should have a master resume. Always. I have one. I have several. How do you have several? Well, here's how. Because I have my professional resume of positions that I've held down through the years. I also have my community service resume. And in a way, like a little deviate from that, because I was extremely active in the bar, which is the professional associations and things like that for lawyers. And that resume of those experiences is a whole thing all on its own. But when I needed it, I could pull it up and say, hey, here's all the things I've done, how I contributed to my community through and as a lawyer, a whole other thing. So I have had 2 or 3 down through the years that I coddle. And then I still don't have just one resume, depending on what it is I'm doing, whether it's something that's policy directed, whether it was something legislative directed, whether it's something now more business centered. Guess what? The resume, the Vita, it shifts. And I maintain various copies of it. Now, some of that may mean it's in a hard copy because, we've moved from floppy disk to USBs to everything being online, but you have to have it. The one thing I will be old school about is, because I have a little bit of paranoia, I'm sorry, but I will print them out, right? Like, so every once in a while, every few months, once, a couple of times a year, print it out and stick it in a file. So you have a hard copy, then make sure you back up somewhere else. Because 3 years from now, it doesn't have to be 3 years from now. It could be 1 year from now. You'll be like, you know what? I already did this, and you can pull that out. Update it, send it on. Okay? So do the deep dive on your experience. It's super important, y'all. I mean, you are cheating yourself when you don't do the deep dive on all of your experiences and track it and keep it so that you have something to go back to pull up all of those skills, not just the job that you had, but what about the skills that you developed in those positions? Oh my gosh, right? I have a friend and she knows who she is. She gonna fuss at me, but I'm not naming names. Who one time we were doing something, I was like, yeah, send your resume over and let me check. And I look and I'm like, okay, there's something missing, right? There was 10 years worth of experience missing. And it was because she's like, well, I don't do any of that stuff anymore. I'm not interested in going back to that or whatever. And I'm like, you don't have to be interested in going back to it for those skills to be relevant today. It's not just about the position. It's about the skill set that you developed in those positions and how those become the foundation that you're building on moving forward. Okay? All right. I'm gonna leave that alone because the next 2 are just as important. The second one is quit ghosting parts of your career. This is the part that I just mentioned. Even if it's not what you do anymore, the experience matters. I will say it again. Even if it's not what you do anymore, the experience matters. So why would you ghost your own self on your experiences? Okay? We are not, y'all know how I like to say, we are not flat Stanleys. And I'm going to say it again. Flat Stanley is that flat, one-dimensional. We are not one-dimensional beings. We are not one-dimensional in our professions. We're not one-dimensional in how we engage with people. If we are, we're very boring and we're probably not going to get a lot of interaction. And this probably isn't for you. However, most people that I know are trying to get to the next level. They're trying to show how great they are from multiple dimensions, from different ways. So quit ghosting yourself. Don't leave stuff off because it doesn't matter. It's like, oh, it's not relevant right now, or I don't see. It's like, no, 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 no. Okay. That experience, those skills, I'm not going to just talk about experience, but those skills are very important. Now, what do I mean? People say, well, what do you mean by with skills? Like, for example, if you managed a team of 25 people and all that entails, that is experience that you can bring forward, right? Problem solving, people management, engaging various levels of problems. I'm like, you could just dive into so many things with just that one thing. All right. So imagine if you're leaving off 2 or 3 positions that you've ignored, that you're like, well, those experiences don't matter. So because that's not what I'm doing right now. Do you know how many shifts I have made in my career already? That's why I talk about my career, not my job or whatever, right? Because I've been a lawyer, I've been a lobbyist, I've been in managerial positions, I have been a consultant, and all of those things have built on each other. And I rely on the skills that I built up from every one of those experiences pulled together today. Anyone I work with today benefits from all of those things, and I can tell you exactly how, right? As a lawyer, critical thinking, I'm always it's just a part of what I do. I can't turn it off. You're going to get the benefit of that, right? As a lobbyist, thinking strategically, organizing our thoughts in order to communicate them in the most powerful way, and also the most concise way. Being an advocate, those come from being a lobbyist. As a manager, when I was in senior management in several positions, managing people, managing bosses, managing major projects, again, all play into the things I do today, as well as being out on my own and serving as a consultant. That's a whole other bailiwick of all of those things pulled together that have moved forward as I continue to do some of that consulting work and as I do coaching of people who are trying to get to the next level in their careers. Now, imagine if I left any of those experiences and skill sets out. Who would want to work with me? There might be a few people because they want to get, tell me how to do 1, 2, 3. But that's not just what I do. I don't just tell you, do this, do this, do this, right? No, we're talking about big picture strategy for your business, for your career. And all of those experiences that I have, I bring to the table and helping you to figure that out and to put together a strategy that works for you. Okay? So quit ghosting parts of your career. The third thing is no one knows if you don't tell it. I mean, I don't know what else I could add to that, right? Don't make it hard for your friends and colleagues to help you out. Some of us, again, stab ourselves in our own foot by hiding those skills, by not sharing that information, being coy with some of it and like, oh, trying to hide it. Here's the other thing what I'd say that plays into this, because it just came to me and I have had that experience as well. And I don't want anyone to do that, which is sometimes I recognize sometimes we are trying to get past maybe a really negative situation we had in a particular job, where it was toxic or something like that, right? And so part of moving past it is to try to just ignore like it didn't happen. Don't do that. Do not do that. No one benefits from that except for the person you're giving power to. Excuse me. Don't let them have that much power over you. And I'm speaking from experience. I've had several of those throughout my career. And part of the moving past it and moving up is acknowledging those things happened, but that does not mean that I did not have value, it does not mean that I didn't bring incredible skill sets to the table. In fact, it means I did all of those things and still survived in a very toxic environment, still survived major backstabbing, right? So all of that is still something to bring forward, which is saying, hey, I've been able to pull through some pretty difficult situations in the office in a position. Here's how that can help me in this next one. You can do all of those things without naming names, without getting whatever. And it's a growth process, right? You have to move past some of those things. However, do not let that hinder you in your growth moving forward. Okay. I know people do it. I have done it. I'm telling you, don't do it. You're only hurting yourself, right? So this is, again, not about bragging. This is about telling the truth about who you are, what you can do, the experiences you've had, and the skills you've built up along the way, and how that is going to help in this next position, this next project, this next consultation, whatever it is, part of your business. This is who I am, right? Multidimensional, how I can come all in and help you achieve the goals that you have for yourself and your organization. All right. So that's the thing. All right. Stop playing hide and seek with your skills. I want you to first do that deep dive on your experience. Quit ghosting parts of your career because of something that happened, and not telling the truth, not telling all. I mean, share it with your friends and colleagues. It's necessary in order for you to be able to get to where you want to be. Okay? So quit hurting yourself. Let's pull those things together. Because remember, we're talking about developing and empowering you. And part of being fully empowered is making sure that you are able to tell the full story about who you are, the experiences you've had, the skills you have that will be of great service to your organization, your business, whatever it is that you're trying to move forward in. Okay. And if you're like, I have no idea where to start with that, give me a call. That's what I'm here for. That's what I do. Okay. All right. It has been great seeing you today. Glad to be back. Check in, follow up. And if you have any questions, topics of concern, please just hit me up in the DMs and the comments. Let me know, because I'm always looking for new topics and things to talk about, and making sure that it's relevant to what's affecting people right now and today. Speaking of that, the 5 steps to career success in any economy workshop is coming up. I really want to make sure that I can provide a great service to at least 10 people out there, maybe a few more. But this is an opportunity to really pull some of those things together, like we've talked about here, so that you can be prepared to put yourself out there at the next level. Okay. So regardless of whether it's your career or if you're trying to get to the next level of where you want to be with your business, there's some aspects of this that all play together. But specifically, if you're trying to move around in your career, in your business, and you're like, you need to do it regardless of what the economy is going to be doing. Okay. So hit me up in the DMs if you're interested in that work. I will send and share that information with you. And I'm really looking forward to the opportunity. Take care. Have a fantastic week, everyone. And I will talk with you later. Bye-bye.